Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast where we discuss Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Brooklyn.
I'm Daniel.
And with us today, we have a special guest. He goes by Bonnadude.
Hey y'all, it's Bonnadude here.
How's it going, my man? What you been up to?
Oh man, life has been wild. I've been pretty much nonstop a week or two before Bonnaroo, and I still haven't stopped with just everything. Life, Bonnaroo, traveling. It's been crazy. I'm here, and I am stoked to be on. Thank you all for having me.
We're not going to be able to not talk about this. You're going to have to tell us about your trip.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so basically, I had a couple days. So I just started a new job, and I had a couple days kind of to kill. And so I have a friend who lives in Phoenix. We really love to hike. So I flew out to Phoenix. We hung out in Phoenix for a day. Then we drove up to Flagstaff, which, by the way, side note, on your way through your Burning Man trip, I suggest y'all stop there. It was a really cool place. There's a bar called Dark Sky, and it was like space themed, and I think you guys would absolutely love it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, they have to stop here. But anyways, went up to the Grand Canyon for a day, and then we went to Zion up in Utah.
Oh, so jealous.
Lucky.
Oh my God, Utah in general and Zion were just unreal.
Now,
I can't wait to be back. Can't wait to go back one day. So,
question: what part of Grand Canyon did you see?
We were there for about 4 hours in total. I think we entered in the southern rim, and I really don't know, to be honest. Once you kind of stare at it and look at it for a couple hours, you're kind of like, okay,
it's just a giant hole in the ground, but it's still pretty.
The first 30 minutes are like mind blowing, and then you're kind of just like, okay, well, I get it now.
I understand this. Let's go.
It's still unbelievable. And
from the videos, I
encourage everyone to go check it out. But yeah, from
the videos that I saw, it seemed like you guys saw more of it than I did when I went. And it seemed less crowded. How was the crowd?
Crowds weren't too bad at all. So the parts where you like drive and stop off, those were a little crowded, but we did an actual hike there, a short one. That was probably the coolest part. We went. It was about a mile in, mile out, and we actually found a kind of little. It was a trail still, but it was a little off trail, and we went out on this like peak. Nice. And I don't know, we felt like, the Lion King just out on
See, that's where we messed up. We didn't do any hikes. We just did the drive and the stops.
Yeah. I mean, there are some insanely strenuous ones where you'd like hike from the top to the bottom, but it was like 110 at the base of that thing.
Yeah.
And so we were not trying to do that. But no, we did a really short one, and it was probably the best part. I didn't really care for the driving and stopping off part. That's just really touristy. Everyone's just trying to take photos and not even like enjoying it. So
see, that's the only part that I saw. That's why I was like, I'm not a fan of the Grand Canyon. But we didn't get to do any hikes. We didn't get to actually see it that well. But going from Arizona into Utah, did you guys see Horseshoe Bend?
Oh.
We did not. No,
you got messed up.
That's more on the top right corner.
Yeah,
near
that's the way
Page,
we
Arizona.
came in.
We went towards the left because, Page looks insane. I haven't been there yet.
It's so pretty.
Oh yeah, like Antelope Canyon looks unreal.
It's a super gentrified area, though. It's kind of unfortunate what's going on with the native communities over there.
Really?
It's kind of sad, but that's for
a topic for another day.
They're those Indian preservations and things. They're super strict for good reason, I guess. But
yeah.
So, Bonnadude, I love hearing these kind of stories. I've talked with a lot of other Ruvians that have been doing their vacations and road trips. Everybody tends to wait until after Bonnaroo to do these kind of things. I love getting on the Rubus Twitter and going through the timeline and seeing like all the different pictures of people going to the beach or Disney or out west like you did. I've seen 2 or 3 people that have taken like the cross-country trip. Even though gas ain't cheap right now, it is so fun doing those. I can't wait for me and Charlotte to do ours here in about a month and a half. I double-checked our route, and we are going through Flagstaff, so I'm going to have to get up with you before we go and check those places out.
That bar seems really cool that you were talking about.
The best way I could describe Flagstaff is if you took a Colorado town and just threw it in the middle of Arizona. Like, it's pretty wild. You don't feel like you're in the desert.
It's so wild. When we went through, it's like a nonstop desert all the way through Utah. If you're driving south from Utah, you go down, and then all out of nowhere you hit this mountainous range with nothing but green trees, and it's like Twilight, like almost like the movie Twilight, really, like with the Washington trees, and like it's so green. And then after that you hit Sedona and it's desert again.
I can't wait, man.
It's really pretty
so we
over there.
drove. I'll say this. So we drove after Flagstaff to get from the Grand Canyon to Zion. You drive through this place called Marble Valley. I'm pretty sure it was the name of it. And it was just the most deserted, desolate, open road I've just ever been on. Like, you picture any, like, Wild Wild West movie where you're just in the middle of nowhere. That's what it was like, with all these crazy mountains. And then we were at the bottom of this valley where it was, over 100 degrees. And then you literally drive 20 minutes, like, around this bend and up this hill, and it was, like, 80 or something.
That's weird.
Like, it's crazy. Literally, like, within 15 minutes, like a 20, 25 degree temperature change.
Oh, yeah. The weather out there is insane.
Yeah, I'm about to find out for myself.
It's so fun.
I found out from another one of our friends, one of our Patreons of this show, Randy Z. She messaged us a couple of days ago, and I had said before that we're going to be going through Denver, kind of sort of on our way back, and I didn't realize it. That's where Meow Wolf is. So I may have to go see that.
Yeah?
You know what I'm talking about? That
Yes.
trippy playground place?
Yes. I want to go to Meow Wolf so bad.
I might be going.
What is that? I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, can you explain it, Brooklyn?
So, do you watch TikTok?
Did you watch TikTok?
Really, no.
Okay, well, okay.
So
to explain this
yeah.
for a non-TikToker. So, for instance, there's one in Vegas, called, what's that grocery store thing?
Oh, I have seen. I was just about
yeah,
to
it's like basically like a giant fun house, but it's super fucking trippy.
Big, trippy, interactive art exhibit.
And the ones that did Meow Wolf are the same ones that did the grocery store in Vegas.
Okay, then yeah, you absolutely should do that. I saw that on Twitter or something. That blew my mind. I was like, I have no desire to go to Vegas, but now I do.
Yeah, right?
Well, apparently there's different ones all over the place, so I'm guessing I'm going to go to the one in
There's
Colorado.
supposedly one in Atlanta.
Is there?
They need to bring one to Nashville. I would hit that up for sure.
Let's go!
Well, they did have something similar but less trippy. A couple months ago, they had I'm thinking about the Van Gogh interactive exhibit.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, so we probably have some listeners that check that out. I know our friend Ada took her son Vincent a number of months ago, and that looked fun, man. I would have loved to have seen that. I love Van Gogh stuff.
It did, yeah. Me and my sister are actually really big Van Gogh fans. She went to that. I did not, though. But yeah, it did look really cool.
That's so awesome.
So it's a traveling exhibit, so it goes to different cities all the time. So maybe we should look that up. Yeah. I'd like to see that. All right, so we aren't here to talk about road trips and Van Gogh, unfortunately, today. We were here to talk about Bonnaroo stuff.
I had one more.
Hold on.
All right, one more.
My sister told me the other day that apparently there's been a new Van Gogh painting discovered, and it was like behind another one. Or so you'll have to just Google it or look it up. But essentially, like
they had to X-ray
of some kind or something along those lines picked up that there was a photo like behind one of his paintings. So now there's like a new, recently just discovered Van Gogh painting.
That's like some stuff from Da Vinci, man. Like when you got to like X-ray it to find it.
Blew my mind. That was pretty crazy. They were still finding his art in 2022. But anyways.
That's wild. So you had one more thing, Brooklyn?
Yeah. We were talking about fun, trippy, museum type things.
Yeah.
City Museum in St. Louis.
Oh my gosh. I recommend that place to any Bonnaroovian. It's so fun if you're doing a road trip.
It's just a giant playground for adults.
Yeah, so it is about
It's all art.
12 stories worth of recycled structures that they've turned into a giant playground. And if you so enjoy some Bud Light, that is the place to take it.
And you basically get to climb on giant art sculptures. It's super fun.
Very cool.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, if you're going through St. Louis, I think it was just $15 to go through that, and you can spend all day in that thing.
It's so amazing.
Yeah, so
I conquered a fear there because they have that giant plane that goes over the building. And you got to climb through it. Oh, Lord, I lost my shit.
That was a fun day.
Oh, yeah, it was. We
Okay.
had Soul Taco. It was great.
So, as I said, this is not necessarily a travel show. Maybe we should just do a whole travel episode one of these days. But
Yeah.
we have Bonnadude on because we wanted to do kind of like a review of some sorts.
Yes.
It's been about a month, 5 weeks now, I suppose, since we were at the farm, and everybody had a fantastic time after 3 years away. You know, I was talking with Russ from the What podcast about this. You know, they had the whole experience backstage and everything, and we talked with them a little bit about in that thing that we recorded from the creek at the Bonnaroo site. But I wanted to get the three of us together today to kind of talk about what we thought about the infrastructure of the place, how Bonnaroo looked, how things like jam tracks worked. And after we kind of go through our list of what we like and didn't like, I thought we would take a look at what would we like Bonnaroo to look like about 5 or 10 years from now. What kind of changes and improvements would we like to see?
Ooh.
So you guys want to dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
So
Let me get my goggles real
yeah,
quick.
let's have our guest go first. So I want to hear from Bonnadude. What did you like this year in terms of infrastructure? What were some of the improvements you liked? What were some of the things you maybe didn't like? Like, let's jump right in, man.
All right, yeah. So I'll just preface this with, well, never mind. So as of, this is my 5th Bonnaroo. I don't know if you can consider me a vet yet, but I know my way around. But I don't know. And actually, no, I was about to say I don't know if it's a credit to not being there for so long or not, but I could tell a genuine difference in just the infrastructure and all these little details. I've got a couple of them written down, but I'm sure there's still some I've missed, but I honestly think they did a really good job. I guess I'll just preface it with saying, like, I think the foundation of Bonnaroo is exactly where it needs to be. Like, I think the skeleton is there for, like, the perfect music festival. I think logistically there are some issues, and, with the low attendance and whatever excuses or reasons you want to pull from, it didn't quite live up to the 10 out of 10 that I think it can be. But like I said, I think the blueprint is there because, I mean, every single year I go, there are improvements. And I really feel like this year, which more than likely was exactly what we were going to get in 2020.
I think so.
Well, that's not true because, like, the paved roads and things like that weren't going to be there. But anyways, I really do think that the blueprint and the overall, like, foundation is really solid.
So what were some of the specific improvements?
We can get into some specifics, but that's just kind of my overall thoughts.
Yeah, tell us, give us some of the specifics. Like, what were some of the particular things that you liked that were new or different this year that you thought was a great addition?
Yeah, for sure. So I think we all really enjoyed the big-ass fans under the tent.
Oh, yeah.
Those were insane. If you were directly underneath one of those, you were there's no way you were, like, overheating. They were putting in overtime for sure. I wish there were more of them. They kind of had them on, like, stage right and stage left sides. I think they need 2 more just in the center. Why not? I think they could get it done. I really enjoyed the paved roads, to be honest. I don't think they overhauled it or went too crazy with it. I think that shakedown street, or what do you want to call it, leading up to the arch, it just gets so dusty. I feel like the paved roads, even though this was the dustiest Bonnaroo that I've been to by far, I feel like those paved roads had to have helped out a little bit.
Agreed.
It absolutely did. And, a lot of people were afraid that it was going to cause, like, some added heat because you've got, like, the sunlight reflecting off of the pavement, but I never thought it was that bad, to be honest.
That could be true. Well, it's probably just because it's covered in dust and so it's not black anymore. But, I mean, we can't go any further without talking about the arch. I mean, what an absolute art piece that was.
The cool thing to me isn't necessarily the tech, but the creativity that they put into it. When they had things like the confessions and such like that, Yeah,
that was super cool. And you guys alluded to it on your Creek episode, and thanks for the shout out, but I was just, my jaw was dropped as I was recording that on Sunday night. I was just, like, literally mind blown and wanted to cry all at the same time.
That was so cool.
When it started going through different years, that really just, like, hit a spot in my heart. I don't even know.
Did you notice the first one that just said Roo? That was a recreation of the OG arch from, like, the first year. Yeah.
And you know what? Here's my kind of theory on that. I did know about the OG arch, about the Roo. I think that's hilarious. But I think that was a combination of, and this is just my theory, I don't have anything to back this up. So I think that was a combination of the very first arch, but also kind of a memoir to the Squarch. Because if you guys remember, the Squarch had that like space monkey trippy theme.
Yes.
And so that was, and it was after, it was like, if you watch the video that's on my socials, it, the year of the Squarch 2019 was after, like, it aligns up with, how they're running through it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I think that they combined the very first one with the very last one, or the last one that actually happened. That's just my own theory. But.
I like that theory.
No, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I hope they continue to think of new things to put into the arts. Like, I think the funny confession deal was like a great example of the fun, creative stuff you can do, because you have somebody submit stuff to it that they include on there. And a number of times when I was coming in the arch, I saw that they would put up the schedule for the things that were about to happen. I thought that was a clever idea. So you know what 10 or what stage to go to for the next show as you go through. I hope they continue to think of like new stuff that they can do with it. And I hope that they put LED on the back side of it next time as well. Go ahead and complete it.
Yeah, I do think it was cool how one side was LED and changing, and one side was like the reactive glow paint. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool with both sides, but I'd be totally cool with LED on each side too.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool to be at a show at the what stage and look back and see it doing like crazy trippy things and animating? That's got to be the logical next step, I would think.
For sure. So just a couple more things that I noticed. I mean, if you spent any time at the other, you noticed the insane video island columns.
Yes!
Those were wild.
You stole mine, boy.
It took me a second. I was probably like halfway through Recno, which was the first other show I saw, and I was just like, wait. And I kind of like took a step back and like, I don't know, it added a whole dimension to the show that wasn't previously there.
Those are so fun. I remember we went to a couple of shows at the other and kind of got like in between the four big pillars. It's so immersive when you have LED stuff happening all around you like that.
100%. Yeah, it is fully immersive. It's like you said, if you're like in like the middle area, you can just do a 360 view and the stage just like continues all around you. It's pretty wild.
Exactly. I think the one I remember most is we went to Lane 8 at like 3 a.m. or whatever the heck it was. And I was kind of already on another planet, and that was fun, dude.
Oh, dude, I made it till sunrise that night. I haven't gotten the chance to record my my second half of the weekend recap, but I'll have the whole detailed story. That was probably the most fun night, arguably of my life, but probably of all my Bonnaroos. That Friday night was just so much fun for me.
I'll tell you about that later. So, Bonnadude, what are some of the things that you saw that could use some improvement? What things like didn't work as well as you would have hoped?
Yeah, well, I do have a couple more improvements before we start.
Oh, okay, yeah, go for it.
I really loved the Bonnaroo sign at the what stage, how they could change that as well. I thought that was pretty cool. See. Also, I gotta give credit to all the plaza upgrades, like the stage at Plaza 5. I didn't make it to any other plazas, I'll be honest, but I could tell a big upgrade just with the stage alone. I thought that was huge.
We were spoiled because it was right in front of us.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And my camper was, I don't even know, 50 feet behind it. I mean, I walked past you guys every morning going to the bathroom and stuff. So
I didn't even realize you were there. That's funny.
Yeah, I was very close to you guys.
So what else you got?
Also, so I didn't make it over there, and I really regret it. Probably as far as like all the improvements, the one thing that I didn't make it to was the silent disco / Who stage. I only kind of saw it from a distance. I don't know if you guys went over there, but they definitely amped that area up.
No, I never did either. You didn't either, Brooklyn?
I did my second year. I did the silent disco.
Yeah.
It's so worth going to.
No, I did see it.
You can find the time.
Yeah. I did see it from a distance, and I like the new structure they have for that.
This year.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I meant. It's like a giant tent
Dome?
I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I didn't get really close enough to tell what it was, but I could tell they definitely upgraded it. So I don't know. Maybe somebody out there could let us know or something.
That was nice
I do
because
regret not going to Silent Disco. It's always a blast, but yeah.
They didn't used to have like shade for the Who stage. It used to be out there kind of close to those newer bathrooms, like right in the sun. So have some shade structure for that. It's a big plus.
For sure. I guess. Oh, and I mean the flags. I thought the flags were a cool touch, like all around the outside of Bonnaroo, the kind of European nod, if you will.
Very Glastonbury looking.
Yes, I thought it was cool. Yeah. So I hope they bring those back. I guess that's all I have for the improvements that I noticed. I guess we can get into what might need a little improvement.
Yeah, let's hear it. What do you got listed out there?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously we'll keep it as positive as possible, and I'll just add the disclaimer.
That's how we do.
We all love this festival with all of our hearts. So this is there's a reason all of us are sitting on a podcast about Bonnaroo right now. It's because we're absolutely obsessed with it. So
constructive criticism is positive.
Constructive criticism, to say the least. So,
pop off.
I don't know if we want to talk about the entrance. I mean, that's kind of the most glaring white elephant in the room. You guys have kind of touched on it, so I don't know if we want to start there or not. But that was probably the biggest issue of the weekend. I think all of us could agree, at least for the first half of the weekend.
I want to give them credit because, let's be honest, I don't want to mince words here. It was pretty close to a disaster the first day on Thursday. But yes. I think they made changes to make it workable. I still think they should have the second entrance, but they did a lot to improve it where it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it was the first day, and I want to give them credit for that.
Do you think those changes were, are you talking about the line?
Yeah.
So do you think those changes were the fact that they weren't checking bags as thoroughly?
Oh, that has a lot to do with it.
Because that could also be kind of controversial.
To do with it, yeah.
That could also be kind of controversial, due to the fact that we've had so many mass shootings recently.
I know.
I know, leave it to me to be, the person to think that them not thoroughly checking bags is a negative, but with so many mass shootings, just at least look into a bag to make sure the dude does not have a gun. Just at least look into a bag.
Yeah.
Don't,
I'm personally not too worried.
You can see if a gun is in a bag just by opening it.
Yeah. I'm personally not too worried about that for two reasons. First of all, it's Bonnaroo, and people are coming are so positive.
You can't be, it could happen. It's just because it's Bonnaroo, it doesn't mean that it can't happen. And I hate to, pull that negativity into it, but it is a possibility, always.
The second reason is because they would have already gone through one round of security coming into the campgrounds to begin with.
And they also had security going through camps.
That's
doing double checks. So.
Yeah. So, I think you have to have a happy medium there. I definitely enjoyed not having to stand in line for 2 hours. That was great. Yeah.
But, like you said, when we saw a dude pass out, in the middle of a line when we were waiting for about 45 minutes, and it was nighttime, that's...
Yeah, it was bad. That was the thing that kind of made me upset because
they just needed to have two entrances. That's just not fucking safe.
It wasn't that it was an inconvenience the first night. It was that it was a safety issue when people didn't have access to water or medical help.
Yeah, everybody was still learning the ropes. You got to give it to the security team. They did everything they could, and they did really good. But at that one time, they just said fuck it and opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
And just rushed everyone in until the line died down.
Yeah, poor Charlotte got trampled that night too
because
of that.
That's not safe either.
Yeah.
We all saw what happened at the Travis Scott thing.
I know. That's in the back of everyone's mind. But like I said, when we started this conversation about this, I'll give them credit. They made adjustments to make it a lot better the rest of the festival.
I feel like I can't blame Live Nation because I feel like they don't even touch this area.
It's C3.
It just feels like they just said, okay, let's hire some security guards and tell them to do what they will.
Yeah, let's let Bonnadude tell us the rest of it, and then we'll have some other comments on that. It kind of applies to the rest of the festival as well.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of obvious in general that security gets a lot more lax as the weekend goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I feel like once you've been, like you said, checked 2, 3, 4 times, like what's really going to happen? I don't know. Maybe that is foolish to say that, but you can tell for sure. Like by Sunday, they don't care.
They don't give a crap.
Or at least most of them. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like you'll have some people who take it like super seriously, and you have other dudes who just barely glance at it. So,
well,
I mean, that's not really a fault of Bonnaroo. Like you said, they outsource all that third party anyway. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to point fingers at stuff like that.
The real reason that they're strict at sometimes and not at others is it depends on whether or not a supervisor is present.
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
Whatever happened to that one woman?
Or if they're fresh off their shift, or if they've been at it 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have any other things that you saw could be improved a little?
Oh, for sure. So I mentioned it on my part 1 recap, but I really am kind of campaigning for this. They've got to add a hydration station at Where in the Woods. Because there's not one this year. And that is a problem, in my opinion, because it's EDM centric. People are there all day, all night, and the closest water station was, I guess, in pod 2. Is it the nearest pod?
Oh man,
I mean, that's not like super far, but still, like there needs to be a permanent water fixture, kind of like all around Bonnaroo has. So
you're absolutely right. I finally went in for the first time this year, and I didn't realize how far a walk it was from the entrance of Where in the Woods to like the big like disco ball where they had the EDM shows. That's a long way, dude. It felt like I walked across a football field to get back there. And I didn't even think about that. There's no water station in there anywhere?
There is not.
Oh, my gosh.
So this is not something I found on my own, luckily. I did see someone post on Twitter, Reddit, somewhere about it. And then I checked my map. And sure enough, there's you can get beer and liquor, but there's no water stations. So, and I don't know, Where in the Woods in general is just kind of like, out. I mean, unless you're at pod 2, it's kind of just out in the middle of nowhere, or especially for us over at Group.
Oh, dude, it was so far. The first night that after we hosted the Flip Turn show, we chilled out for a little bit and then made a big walk. We went to House of Yes, and then over there, it is so damn far over there.
It is a haul.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, once you go out, you are not coming back in.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't realize that there wasn't a water fill station. That's got to happen. Yeah,
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, again, not credit to me. I wish I could shout out who said that, but a very good point by them, and I just wanted to spread the message because, that's just. Yeah. I mean, Where in the Woods is. I mean, it's. I think we can agree, like, it's probably the biggest attraction campground-wise at this point.
Absolutely.
It's kind of taken the campgrounds by storm, so there needs to be a permanent water filling station over there.
Right.
Honestly, Where in the Woods is the biggest addition that Bonnaroo has probably had in the past decade. It used to be some kind of like VIP camp back there, but them taking that area and kind of opening it up and putting all that weird, wacky stuff and the big stage in the back and everything, it's kind of become one of the newer Bonnaroo traditions to have all that. And it's an area that looks different than the rest of Bonnaroo too, because you've got like all the tall trees and everything. And it has become one of their big selling points. So I agree. They've got to put the same care into that area that they do the rest of Bonnaroo. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I didn't actually... So I was so excited this year to even go because I never made it there in 2019. A lot of people said that they kind of amped it up even more so from then. So I was blown away by it.
Oh, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I have something else I was going to say, and it's totally slipped my mind. Maybe they'll come back in a second.
That's okay. Well, I tell you what. While you're churning that up in your brain, let's have Brooklyn go next. You want to start off by telling us what you thought was great? What were some of the good improvements and things that you loved?
Okay, well, Bonnadude basically touched base with everything except for one thing.
Okay.
Like the arch, especially what they did with the other stage this year with the island screens. That was just fan-fucking-tastic. But the one thing that, like, really, really just, like, piqued my interest was what they did with the Who stage. They created this dome, and with it being so hot, like, it was so nice being in this, like, tiny dome-type tent thing. They, like, turned it into a tent. Yeah. It's very interesting. I only visited the Who stage once, and at this point, I can't even remember what fucking day it was. But I think it was Thursday. I made it a point, like, I had to go see Milo, because I found him on my Spotify Discover Weekly.
Yeah.
And he's fan-fucking-tastic, and he's even better live. Like, he threw down. Like, it's I'm pretty sure the show started out with, like, maybe 5 people in the crowd, and then he started, and by the second song, it was jam-packed full of people. They were, the grasp that he had on the crowd was just incredible. But I really like the structure that they had, like, and I saw some EDM stuff going on over there while I was watching, I think it was Still Woozy, like a little bit before Still Woozy came on, and there's some hardcore lasers coming from it, and it just looked like a spaceship. It looked so cool, and that's the one thing that I found that was a huge improvement that I think Bonnaroo did, was create a tent for the Who stage. So really now, I would say it's the Who tent. Because, I mean, it's like a little spaceship. It's super cute. It's super cozy. And it's the perfect size for the crowd that stage is going to bring. Mm-hmm. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like it a lot.
Very good points,
well, Just a few minutes ago, and I was that's what I was alluding to when I was talking about the silent disco. I have on here silent disco / Who stage, because I knew they were next to each other.
So
it was the same space.
Okay,
so
okay. Silent disco was at the Who stage. Okay.
I never made it over there, but I was just like, what? Like, I was blown away with the improvement on that for sure. But I never made it over there to kind of like get a good description of it. I just kind of saw it from a distance.
It's super cute, right?
It was dope, for sure.
It's cute, it's intimate, and it's also kind of trippy. Like, if you're drinking Bud Light,
it's almost a legit tent now. Like, you don't even have to be like squeamish to say you're playing the Who stage now. It's like a legit venue.
Oh yeah, I'm playing the Who tent.
The Who tent.
What else, Brooklyn?
Some constructive criticism.
Yes.
And okay, I feel like everybody has a comment on this. The jam track.
Oh,
so no, personally, I enjoyed the jam track. It worked out in my favor so well because we were in group camp, so we're the first stop. If you're coming from Bonnaroo, you're the first stop. Group camp. Mm-hmm. It's so easy, so easy. So if you're coming from Bonnaroo, it's so easy. If there's like a short line, which was always the case. For some reason, for me. I don't know. I got lucky.
You did get lucky.
But the one time that I got on the jam track from group, you have to stop at every single pod. And what I noticed when we tried it out was, everybody got on from group, from pod 5. We got on, and then we hit the second stop.
It goes clockwise around the whole place.
Yeah. We got to the second stop. Nobody wanted to get off, so there was no room for people to get on.
Exactly.
So what I think they should do is they should have designated jam tracks for each pod. Because if you think about it, if they go in one circle, like, there's always going to be, like, a full jam track, and by the time they get to the last one...
Yeah, over where the therapy gecko was.
They're never gonna be able to get on.
So Charlotte,
I don't know how it worked out, like after the first day or two, but what I saw was I saw frustration in those people, and you could tell they had been standing there, and those people were like further off than we were.
Yeah, that we noticed that too, because it only goes clockwise. So when you get on at pod 5 or near it or whatever, by the time you get to the other side, nobody's getting off because everybody's waiting to get off at the arch. So those poor people that were waiting forever were never seeing anybody come off. And I don't think they thought that far ahead about it. The thing that Charlotte and I thought about was they should have 2 lines going in either direction, clockwise and counterclockwise around the camps. So you solve that problem of people not getting off. People will be more able to get on. Also, you don't have to, like, say... If I want to get on at pod 5 and don't feel like walking to the arch, I have to go all around the whole place. But if there was another one that was going counterclockwise, it's a much shorter trip.
Well, see, I think what they should do is they should have 2 separate jam tracks for each pod.
Yeah.
One jam track goes to the arch. The other jam track goes to like the middle of the campgrounds.
Yeah.
Like, let's say Shakedown Street. That's the other destination.
Okay.
So that way it doesn't get... I mean, it would kind of be chaotic, but they'd have to learn, like, the certain route. But I think that would be the most beneficial.
So I found out some tea. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
I went to the main hub right outside the arch one day and was trying to get on it. And one of the guys there was like one of their managers or something like that. And he knew I was the guy that drives the Roo bus. And he's like, oh, hey, man. And I was just asking him, I was like, hey, has everything been running smoothly? And he was like, no, not really. And he told me why. The contractor that was supposed to be running Jam Tracks, the original one, dropped out a month before Bonnaroo. And they had to scramble to get a new one. And I don't think they got as many of the golf carts and trailers as they wanted.
Right.
Not nearly as many.
But they had quite a few.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like I mean, I'm just going to say, like, I feel like I did get lucky because I heard so many horror stories about Jam Track. But, like, the 4 times that I used it worked out smoothly for me.
I will contend still that it is a fantastic idea and they should continue it.
Yeah.
But it does need some improvements.
Yeah. I mean, and this is just our first year. Like, you can't blame them at all for that.
They'd never done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, they did pretty good.
Bonnadude, did you ever use Jam Tracks? Did you ever ride it?
I unfortunately did not. I'm in the same boat. Kind of what I summarized with earlier. Like, I think it's a fantastic idea. It just wasn't executed well. And so that makes sense what you were saying about the company dropping out. But, yeah, I think there just needs to be, like, 20 times the carts and should run just fine, because anytime I saw one, they were just jam-packed, no room. They weren't, I don't know. To be honest, I never really even tried to get on one personally, but I do think it's a fantastic idea. But yeah, it definitely needs some tweaks, but I'm all for it though, for sure.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
I don't like how they didn't do it 24/7.
Did it not?
No. Saturday
there were
night.
Quite a few things that weren't 24/7. The showers weren't even 24/7.
Yeah,
really?
It's kind of stupid. Like, if Bonnaroo's going to run 24/7, I think everything should run 24/7, because you're always going to have people who are like waiting for that kind of vacancy.
Yeah.
Did you notice
Some
that they
people
turned
love to go in the showers late at night when no one's there.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Did you notice they turned the fountain off at 2 a.m. this year?
Honestly, no, because I was not in Bonnaroo at that time.
I thought that was kind of weird and lame. I'd never seen that done before. Like, why would you turn that off? People are still partying.
Yeah, what the heck? Maybe they were recycling the water.
When I was walking around at like 6 or 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, I did notice it was off, which makes sense for that. There was like 10 people in Bonnaroo.
I can see. I can see why. I was just a little surprised.
Yeah, I have a photo. I think I sent it to you guys in the group message, but I have a photo of it turned off just in the morning. It just looks kind of funny with nobody around.
That was just a violation of nature to walk by that and not see it running. That was weird
what the
to me,
hell?
man. Yeah.
I got a picture from Dave, like at 10 a.m. of him taking a shower in the fountain.
Really? I finally did it this year. I went in with Celia and Chloe and them on Sunday.
Did you do the big ass water slide photo?
We did, yeah. Yeah. Did you have anything else? Any other constructive criticisms?
Just, I mean, it's really nothing that they can help. Like, just that one security guard, just, like, be careful who you hire, I guess.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that.
They don't really have control over that.
Well, I got some thoughts on that here in a moment. Did you have anything else before I tell you mine?
Yes.
Yes.
In Pod 5, the giant stage, turn the lights off after the last show, please.
They
were shining straight into the bus, and oh my god, I'm a person where I have to sleep in the pitch black dark. Okay. Yeah.
We have curtains in the bus.
Look, I'm a queen, and I need my beauty sleep. So, please, yes, for further entertainment purposes, please turn off those stage lights, please.
Hey, Brooklyn.
And don't play.
Where did he come from?
Where did nobody wants to line dance at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Now, this is not a generalization.
We'll do it in the camp. We won't do it on the stage where there's like blasting music. Come on.
This is not a generalization because they were doing that and there were only 2 people there.
Yes. We're not even going to talk about like.
Brooklyn, where did he come from? Where did he go?
Please do not bring up the Cotton Eye Joe.
Bonnadude,
Okay,
I swear.
We can't do
Fox
it.
5 talk.
Yeah.
I do have another slight complaint.
Yes.
It kind of blows my mind. I mean, obviously, I think group camping in general got kind of screwed this year, if we're being honest, with the
that's what I'm about to talk about.
shutdown and all that. But it blows my mind how they can specifically designate an area for mass groups of people to gather in camp and not even sell ice at the plaza.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was annoying. Yes.
Right?
You had to walk to Pod 6 to get ice, which, like, thankfully, people in my crew bit the bullet and did it. I never did it, but I just think that is just a laughable decision.
Yeah, I think it was the only thing that we didn't have in the group camp area, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big one, though, you know? Like, people are, like, obviously everyone there is, like, camping together and, like, partying and, like, setting up camp. But, like, group camping is, like, that times 5 or 10, you know? Like, it just kind of blows my mind that they didn't have an ice machine or at Pod 5. So.
Yeah. So that was going to be one of mine. Charlotte and I talked about this in our little bonus episode, but I'll quickly summarize it here. I think they have to look at making a number of changes to the group area. I don't think the Space Cowboy theme was a good fit, even though it was cool. It'd be a good fit at another plaza. I think they have to reconsider where it is if they're only going to have the one entrance. I would really encourage them to put it closer to the middle of the campground, somewhat around where House of Yes is.
Yeah.
So it's central to everything, so everyone can come visit group for activations like the beer exchange. But also, so it'll be a short walk for people in group, because that should be something that is a plus to that area. So they did get kind of screwed this year by having such a long walk. And basically, they had the rug pulled out from under them just a week before when they were like, oh, by the way, we're only going to have one entrance. Yes, Brooklyn?
Hear me out. What if they moved Silent Disco to a plaza? And what if that plaza was Group Plaza? And what if we just had Silent Disco and Group Plaza?
That's an amazing idea.
And then have day venues during the day,
I love that. That's a
Yeah,
fantastic Silent Disco at the Group Plaza.
Come on. Hear me
I'm
out.
down for it because I feel like I never have time to go to Silent Disco, but I feel like if it was kind of singled out, maybe I would make time.
Yeah. Silent Disco should be in the camps. That'd be so much better.
I noticed that Silent Disco was always during something else that I wanted to see. And I feel like if they had it all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of.
At a plaza.
I mean, yeah, that would be.
That's a fantastic idea.
Right?
Give me a high five on that.
Yeah!
I love that idea. I'm co-signing on that.
Thank you.
That's such a good idea. Okay, I started with things that I was given a constructive criticism about, but let me go back and start with the very, very positive things. There's no one specific thing that I can point to, but I really loved how C3 and the organizers of Rue were very adaptive this year. I think part of that was because a lot of things happened at the very last minute, but they were able to adapt to problems like the line crush on Thursday and some other things that were happening in the campground. I think that they did adjust things with Jam Track a little bit to help it as the weekend moved on. And they were able to make adjustments on, Saturday when the kind of sort of storm rolled through.
No, I will say something about that. Everybody who ran Plaza 5, the group plaza, they were extremely generous to give us that entire venue for the beer exchange. That was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they want to continue doing that. That was definitely another big plus. The fact that Bonnaroo trusts its community to put on events and supports them. I want to see more of that. They did a very, very, very good job of that this year. They did a lot behind the scenes to support the beer exchange. They were very helpful to us. They put on the thing for Ruham. I mentioned this with Charlotte the other day. I would love to see more of that. They're going in such a good direction with that. It very much is taking that Burning Man vibe of letting the community organize itself and put on its own events.
Right.
That is amazing. That is such a big feature of a festival that only really maybe Burning Man and maybe Electric Forest to a small extent is able to do. That is a big selling point that Bonner is able to sell over things like Firefly or whatever, other comparable camping festivals. They're not doing that.
Okeechobee?
Okeechobee doesn't really have any fan-curated events, do they?
They need it.
That would be a good place for it, but that's another place. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Okeechobee is about to be one of the main competitors to Bonnaroo.
Oh, yeah.
They have their stuff going on. They have a great venue. They're going to continue to grow and improve. I can definitely see Okeechobee being amongst the same level as Bonnaroo and Coachella and some of the other big ones, and they are about to be sometime in the next 5 years. Bonnaroo thinks that they're competing with like Lollapalooza and Coachella. Nah, before too long they're competing with Okeechobee. I'm just telling you that today.
I just hope their sponsorship stays with Insomniac.
We shall see. But back to my point, though, I feel like that's where Bonnaroo can continue to compete is by hosting these fan-curated things and letting their community dictate what the schedule kind of looks like a little bit, you know? I'll have some more thoughts on that another day. Those are some of the things I love. You guys mentioned a lot of things I love. Bonnadude, you mentioned the new sign that they had on the What stage. We barely touched on that. Oh, yeah. That was so cool. It would change colors with the stage lighting. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it would just kind of like bounce around with the song. It was pretty funny. It was just like, we're used to I personally, like, my favorite color is green. I love just the OG green one.
Yeah.
But it is really cool. The rainbow, and then it was like black and white and kind of just like strobe lights. Like, I mean, I love it. It was 5 stars for that.
Yeah.
Moment.
It was such a comparably small touch, but such a good one. I love little things like that. It really adds up.
Yes. Oh, that's exactly what I mean. Like, when I was talking earlier, like, I noticed a bunch of small little things that, like, if you would only know if you've been going for a number of years. But yeah,
exactly.
And yeah, just agreeing with you with what you both said about the community thing. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that is what makes I think the community is Bonnaroo, and so I think the Rooham guys in their recap episode also summed it up really well. Kind of just along the same lines about, if you have an idea, you can make it happen. Like, it's pretty crazy that such a large venue and company will pretty much let anybody do anything, within reason. And I love it. I love the community stuff. I got
another thing that we didn't really mention.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, my bad. Another thing that we didn't really mention was they had the parachute people as a part of Planet Roo this year. And I know they had to do a lot of legwork to become a nonprofit to make that happen. But it was so cool that such a homegrown Bonnaroo group like that was officially part of it inside of Cinderoo. And they hosted workshops inside like the little hut over there. I was so proud of them that they put that together. They hosted the toy exchange and was telling some about what they're trying to do with their nonprofit. That was so cool. That warmed my heart to see that happening in such an official capacity.
They've worked their asses off for that shit.
Absolutely they did. Are you kidding?
I think the toy exchange actually got canceled because of the storm.
Oh, did it? That sucks.
I don't think it ever happened. I'm pretty good friends with Julia. You guys met Julia.
Yes, we have her painting on the mantle. I love her.
Yes, I thought
that painting won my heart.
But I will say, and I hate to even say it on the air, but I'm just going to do it.
Go for it.
Her and I, since she didn't get to do the toy exchange, we've been talking, and so I'm kind of like obsessed with stickers. And so we're kind of planning next year to maybe do like a collab event of toy exchange, and also like a sticker exchange.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, I love getting stickers from people and just exchanging little gifts in general. And I thought her idea was really cool. And so again, who knows if it'll actually happen, but we have an entire year to plan it.
Sir.
So I'm hoping we get something figured out.
We will help any way we can.
Have you seen the back of my car?
Exactly.
I'm obsessed.
I have boxes and boxes of stickers. I love
obsessed with stickers. Always send me stickers. I love stickers.
Have you seen the back of the Rubus?
Have you seen the back of my car?
I know. It's almost just as much.
Uh-huh.
All right. I got 2 things that are pieces of constructive criticism. Okay. I'm going to start with the lesser of the 2. One thing that I noticed this year that I want to see back is we didn't have fireworks and lasers and little touches like that. Usually there's fireworks going off during the headliner. Didn't happen. I'm assuming they tried to save costs, and if so, that's a little lame.
You know what's funny? I did see fireworks like within the campground.
Yeah, bootleg fireworks. Yeah.
Somebody snuck in some fireworks.
Yeah, they were there, just not in an official capacity. And I just didn't see as many lasers. The only time I saw like pyrotechnics and lasers was at that Millennium show.
Were you even at the Res show?
No, that's right. You're right. Yeah.
Come on, did you see Millennium?
It just well, those two, notwithstanding, I felt like.
Did you go to BTSM?
No, I did not. I was at Billy Strings at that time, I think.
No, see, that's... No.
But it just
Billy
seemed like there
Strings
was a lack of that kind of stuff this year, and I thought that was a little disappointing, just personally.
Do you think that was because of the shows that you went to?
Well, Flume didn't have anything.
No, Flume stated that he was not gonna. He wanted to do no lasers for that tour, so that's all Flume.
Well, I love Flume, but I disagree with him about that. He should have lasers.
I wholeheartedly disagree with his decision on that too, because Palaces is an incredible fucking album, and I was highly anticipating that show, and I was so heartbroken when I was standing there, and I was just so disappointed. The sound sucked.
Somebody said when I was walking away that they could have put Flume on a couple of Bluetooth speakers at their camp and had the same experience.
Yes! It was so bad. I hate that because Flume is obviously incredible, right? He's an incredible performer. And even though this show at Bonnaroo was a flop for me, I will not... It doesn't mean that I'm a lesser fan.
Yeah,
I'm very disappointed. So, very, very disappointed because I've waited. I missed Flume in 2017.
I know.
I missed him. And that is my biggest regret ever.
One day.
No, I agree. After being just absolutely melted into a puddle of ooze at Millennium the night before, I had even higher expectations for Flume. And that was pretty much the only show that I would consider a disappointment that I saw all weekend, and I think it's kind of a resounding.
Yeah.
Did you make it over to Loop Daddy at all after that?
Oh, I went to Loop Daddy. I finally got the hype of Loop Daddy.
Yeah, no, that brought me back to life. Like I kind of died a little bit during Flume, and that brought me back to life. I love him now.
So I got one other thing, and we're going to devote some more time to this next week or the week after, I believe.
All right.
The biggest problem that I had with Bonnaroo this year, I think I've already spoken about this, is the amount of harassment that women had to deal with out in the campgrounds.
Oof.
I feel like so many different women have their own story to tell, and we might be sharing their stories before too long, but it seemed like it was just rampant. And I'm not even talking about like among attendees. It seemed like it was like security people and staff that were just catcalling and having just terrible, awful comments. And,
it was disgusting.
Yeah, and I noticed it myself. It's not that I don't, I believe every woman that had a story to tell, but then I experienced something, secondhand when I went with Charlotte over to House of Yes. I got in line to use the bathroom, and there was kind of a line because everybody was waiting on the Pride Party or the Pride Parade. And I was on the other side of the fence, and I heard these two guys, like, on the other side that were, like, security staff saying stuff I ain't even going to repeat. It was just terrible. And I heard from so many women that came to the Rubus that experienced this kind of thing, and it is inexcusable. Inexcusable. Bonnaroo or whoever is contracting the security has to do more screening. They can't just hire anybody off the street that's going to come in and just harass women left and right like that. It is embarrassing because it is not what Bonnaroo should be about. And I am so disappointed that this happened to so many people.
I'm curious to know, like, if it was just women that got harassed.
Well, you're very right. You're very right. It could be others as well.
I mean, men can get harassed too. Like,
you're right. You're right. I mean,
I got harassed by women this year. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, they were also attendees, but they were very, very intoxicated.
Oh.
But that Bud Light.
Yeah.
Inexcusable, but still, like.
There's more aspects of this. You're right. I guess what I'm talking about now is like when somebody is a security person that's been hired by Bonnaroo, they're in a way reflecting and representing Bonnaroo, and for them to say the awful stuff that they did to attendees is just flatly inexcusable.
I will say, Bonnaroo did do a good job of responding to these claims. They did a fantastic job because they were on it. They even thought that it was the wrong guy, and they like attacked the wrong guy.
And we were like, no, this guy's being super sweet.
No, not him.
Yeah.
Different guy.
Yeah.
Different guy.
But we'll discuss that more on another day. Did you have anything else to say on that topic, Brooklyn?
Not really. Just be careful, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Be careful out there. Nature's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
All right, so I want to come back in a moment, and we want to talk just briefly about where we would like to see Bonnaroo in about 5 or 10 years. But real quickly, can we thank our Patreons?
Yes, let's thank our Patreons. Am I going to get to read them out?
Would you like to?
I would love to.
All right, so everybody, this is at patreon.com/rebus. Brooklyn is going to thank our Patreons. Why don't you go ahead and read their names
I'm going to read your names, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce it, because I cannot read. I read on a second grade level. So sorry.
And we have a new one. He's at the top of the list.
Oh my God, Perry Eisner. Woo, let's give him a round of applause.
Yay! Thank you, Perry.
Perry's my puss. Okay, we got Perry Eisner, Aaron Lord, Preston, a.k.a. Presto, Nick Wagala, Maddie McCracken. I like that. Sean McCain, McFerg, Andrew Julian, William Hoper. Ooh. John Howard, Captain Dan, Lucy Young, Benjamin Wells, Ross McNamara,
McNamara, I think. That's how Charlotte's been saying it.
I'm so sorry. Dude. Mr. Ross. Anyways. Kent Summers, Michael Roberts, Randy Z.
She's hooking me up in Colorado.
Joshua Wenzel. What's up, Josh? That's Bonnaroo Josh.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is on Twitter. Madison Hudzuzia.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Madison. She's trying.
I'm trying with all of my heart. Anyways, Scar Hurst, Greg B, Eric Abel,
Ben.
Can't forget Ben. Kristen Straub, Natalie
Gaucher.
What? Okay. Beyond the Hypnotic, aka Jace.
Jace.
Woo! Evan Brown, Jay Sanders, Chloe Hannon, and Sean McCarthy.
Shout out to Evan. He went to that Dead and Company show over at Citi Field the other night to see John Mayer and the Grateful Dead boys. I would have loved to have been there at that.
Lucky.
What show was Evan not at? Seriously, we gave him an award for that, for being at literally every show.
Anyway.
Love that man. So yeah, you can find us at patreon.com/Rebus. For the next 2 months, it is funding taking a piece of Bonnaroo to Burning Man. Charlotte and I are working on a project where we're going to bring some positivity to Burning Man. We're going to document that and bring it back to you guys. But once we return from that, we're going to go back to putting together a big donation for the Bonnaroo Works Fund for Bonnaroo 2023. And also a portion will fund whatever fun stuff that we do next year. We'll tell you more about that in the future, but I just want to get everyone's name in.
Yes, congratulations to everyone. You are all awesome.
All right, so briefly, we got 2 things to do. We're going to talk about what we would like to see out of Bonnaroo in the future, and then I think we're bringing back weekly picks for this week.
Weekly picks!
Yeah. All right, so very briefly, Bonnadude, where would you like to see Rue in the future?
Real quick, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, you're there.
Okay. I will randomly, real quick, one more improvement. One thing I think they need to bring back before we get off the topic.
Yeah.
The pod balloons.
Oh, yes.
They're nowhere to be found this year.
Well, we found out the reason for that. There is a dire helium shortage right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Charlotte found out about that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, just a random thing.
But yes, you are right.
Yeah. Also, the maps and the garbage bags, but whatever. That's not even a big deal.
You're right, too.
So 5 to 10 years. I mean, like I said, man, I really think the blueprint is there. We just need more logistical improvements with the staffing and things like that. I think they really have something going with hosting all of these community events. I think that is the number one kind of seller for a festival like Bonnaroo, as far as the attendees. And yeah, I mean, I really don't know. It's kind of a hard question. I mean, I'll put it this way. I've only been going for 5 years, and it's improved drastically since then, in my opinion. Just little by little each year, like I said. So I think they're on the right track. This was kind of a, quote, rebuild year, just with low attendance and, everything that's happened in the world in the last 2 years. But
Yeah.
I think we're on the right track. Or at least I'm going to be positive and say that we are because, I don't know. I mean, if you want to dive even deeper, there's all the crazy talk that the What podcast has gotten into a little bit about just the rights to the farm and the festival in general.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a whole other topic entirely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't personally know anything about it, only what they've said, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of just my my obsession, like I said, and I hope it stays right where it is and just continues to get better. But
since you brought it up, I would be absolutely shocked if Bonnaroo ever moved because, like, they are spoiled rotten where they are, even though they're in a slight disagreement with some of the local people right now. And they've put so much money into that place. And let's be honest, they are not going to find a place anywhere within like a half hour or so of Nashville to put that. I don't know where in the heck you would even do that. So it's honestly a lot of posturing and saber rattling. They're not really going to move. It would be just an absolute shocker.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do with the two permanent bathrooms out in the field and all the random stuff they have out there? You know, like I agree. I personally don't think it's going anywhere, but just hearing them talk about it kind of did scare me a little. But
I agree.
Also, think of it this way: there's so many people that have been going for so many years that have so many good memories of that specific place. If they move it, they're going to lose a lot of those people that will just be like, well, this is a different event.
Same. I mean, it's the farm for a reason. I mean, you can't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They would, in my opinion, if it ever moved, not only would it not be Bonnaroo, but I don't think it would literally be called Bonnaroo. I just don't think you could do that. And
even if they
hopefully
moved
that
it,
never happens. But
if they moved it and still kept the name, I think all of us would know it's not really Bonnaroo. We all know that area.
I don't even know if I would go, to be honest. I'd probably boycott it.
I feel the same way, kind of. Brooklyn, where would you like to see Rue in about 5 or 10 years?
Honestly, where I would like to or where I would see them?
Either way.
Okay, so where I would like to see them in a few years, the only addition that I would put is Calliope back in its OG spot. Because, or Calliope, like, being, like, maybe a host of its own pod. Like, just put Calliope, but, like, in a pod somewhere.
That'd be cool. I like that idea.
Like a Calliope-themed pod. Also, I want to see, when we went to Okeechobee, we talked about it a lot, Frick Frack's Blackjack. Blackjack?
Very good recommendation.
Frick and Frack's Blackjack. They are fan-fucking-tastic.
They're a great fit for Bonnaroo.
For those of you that don't know, Frick Frack's is basically like a gambling tent full of magic and wonder and all kinds of activities for everyone.
It was wonderful.
Like, you don't gamble with money, you gamble with knickknacks.
Random things.
Like, random things. Like, I mean, for instance, we have a baseball and a Baby Yoda sitting on top of this couch right now. You can gamble those things. The only thing you can't gamble is money. You could probably even gamble like a bobby pin or some shit. Somebody try to gamble like a bubble filled with vape smoke.
Did they take it?
Of course not, because it popped before they could even.
It can cease to exist.
No, like I would absolutely love to see them at Bonnaroo, and I can think of at least a dozen more who would also like to see them at Bonnaroo.
Mm-hmm.
I think like a whole pod with just like Calliope and Frick Frack both. Like, you know what? Just make that pod 5. You know, make that group
like
plaza. We got it. We got all the cool stuff. Come see us. Blah blah blah. That's where I want to see Bonnaroo in a few years.
I love it. Anything else?
More community stuff.
Oh yeah. We mentioned that for
like
sure.
not just within like the group plaza. Like, I want to see like newbie stuff. Like I want to see some like events curated specifically for newbies and from newbies. I mean, I don't know how that would work, but like.
But we kind of sort of tried it. Remember?
I mean, yeah, but like I know I want to see like. Maybe more like newbies who have gone to other festivals that are coming to Bonnaroo that like know what they're doing, blah blah blah. You know, that kind of thing. Like bringing other festivals to Bonnaroo.
I understand that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. So you want me to go?
Yeah, please.
All right. I got a couple of small ones and then one big one. First small one that I would love to see. I want people to be able to ride bikes in the campground.
Yes.
It's so hard to get around. The campground is so big. Jam Track isn't there yet. Maybe it will be in the future. But I have seen it happen at Okeechobee. People are riding bikes. Nobody is getting injured. Maybe you have dedicated bike lanes. I don't know. I feel like that kind of mobility would make a huge difference out in the campgrounds. All right, now the big thing. I want Bonnaroo to be even more Bonnaroo. Now that doesn't make sense, but let me explain. A couple of years ago, they had a wacky lineup. They had 2 nights of Fish. They had Gambino. They had a lot of throwback acts. A lineup that is all over the place where it's just people throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. That is Bonnaroo. And I think we have moved away from that other than that one
mainstream.
year. Yeah. I feel like they're trying to get the lineups to compete too much with like Lollapalooza and some of these city events. No, I want more stuff like Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like these legacy acts that you can put in a tent that aren't necessarily going to be like the huge, bank breakers that you put on the what stage, like Fleetwood Mac or whatever it may be. I want them to have stuff all over the place. And I want them to also have stuff all over the place out in the campgrounds. Kind of like what we were talking about. Calliope should return and be in the campground.
Calliope.
Sorry. The Frick Frack place should be in the campground.
Yeah.
Silent Disco should be in the campground.
And I think just because, for instance, Plaza 5, since we were Galactic Giddy Up, the majority of the music that we saw was redneck, hillbilly honky tonk bullshit.
Where did he come from? Where did he go?
Oh, stop, please, stop. Which, that's not a bad thing, but, we need a variety. There needs to be a variety everywhere.
Exactly.
Not in one place. Yes, it's nice, for the older groups who thoroughly enjoy honky tonk giddy ups, to be able to group in one place. But, group Plaza is not it.
It's not.
It's not it. It's mostly young people who don't even want to listen to that, who are mostly into EDM, mostly into, Childish Gambino, mostly into, stuff like the camp, stuff like, if we are into country, it's going to be like Wild Horses or Give Me Another One.
I understand.
Yes. I can't think right now.
I follow your thinking.
But yeah.
But with what I was saying, I want them to stop playing it safe when it comes to not only the lineup, but the activations.
Yeah.
Do crazy stuff. Even if the one thing doesn't work in one year, at least you tried it. There's still going to be a number of people that appreciated it.
Book some tribal bands.
That'd be fun. But yeah, more world music. That's a good example.
Yes, world music. That's what we need.
Yeah, I have a long-term goal of bringing in a group from
Waylele?
Haiti. Yes, perhaps. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want more variety in the lineup. I want them to be more bold, to try new things, and not play it too safe. I don't want to see them trying to compete with every other festival. I want them to be Bonnaroo. Nobody else is Bonnaroo. You got to keep being Bonnaroo. It's got to be wild and crazy and stuff that you're like, I didn't know I wanted that.
That's what Dr. John wants.
Exactly. One other thing that I would like to see 5 or 10 years from now, I want to see more Bonnaroo events, more Bonnaroos. We have the big one, the second or third weekend of June. Sorry, I'm starting to be able to not think. But I think it would be cool to have mini Bonnaroos. Maybe have a much smaller thing in the fall where they just use one stage. They kind of did
kind
it
of
with,
like Exit 11.
Exit 111 was kind of sort of that, and they had a little bit of that with concerts at the farm. They had Billy Strings and the Abbott Brothers and stuff like that. Why they own the property? Why not have more? Have a small 2-day camping festival in the fall when it cools off a little bit.
Trying to do that.
I would love to see it. I think if you make it something that's smaller, that they spend less money on, that you just target to the local Tennessee area, just within a couple of hours driving distance, I think it could do well. You spend less money on it. People want to come camp in the fall, like during fall break or whatever for the colleges. I think it's worth trying. But yeah, I'll just leave it there for today.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I mentioned it.
Bonnadude?
Bonnadude, anything else before we move on to our picks?
I agree, dude. I wish there was a quarterly event for Bonnaroo of some kind. I don't know. Obviously living here, I can meet up with a lot of local, a lot of Peruvians are local to the south. So I'm in Nashville now, so it's a pretty good hub for that. But yeah, I want to see my family more than once a year for sure. So I'm here for
that was Mitchell's thing. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I stole that from Mitchell.
Yeah, that's Mitchell's term. I couldn't remember it last week. Guys, would you like to move over to our weekly picks?
Please.
All right, Brooklyn campaigned to return this, so we're going to have her go first, I believe.
Okay, let me open up my phone and find the name of it because I just found it today. Okay, my weekly pick. I have two. Number one is I found it today. Actually, I just found it like 45 minutes ago. It's a song called When I Look at You by Ammo. So Ammo times 2. It's great. Oh, it's so good. It's chill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will have to listen.
Yeah, please listen. Bonnadude, you too, because we have basically the same music taste.
Oh, you sent her some fire recommendations. I was listening to it yesterday.
Also, my second, it would be Feel No Pain, the new release from Grizz. He's just killing it. I mean, he always kills it, and he's a wonderful human being. And he's a precious loaf. So yeah.
All right, Bonnadude, what you got for us?
So I think it was like a 2020 release, so it's not like super, it didn't come out anytime super recently, but I just discovered this band called 100th. Just written out, I like the number or anything, but, and the song called Burn Slow, I'm pretty sure. And another song called Whatever. Yeah, Burn Slow and Whatever. I've been having those two songs on repeat. I really like the album art. I know I sent it to Brooklyn already just because so I would describe my music taste as, the frog. I would describe my music taste as a little bit of Brooklyn, a little bit of Daniel, and a little bit of Charlotte. All of you guys listen to kind of everything that I like. But yeah, those two songs are great. I've had Burn Slow on repeat just for the last couple days. It's a little I don't even know. I'm not the biggest. I don't really know Rufus Du Sol that well, but from what I've heard, that's kind of the vibe I get out of them. It's electronic for sure, but like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I definitely think everyone should check them out.
That's one of my favorites.
Also, the new song by Always. That's my favorite band on Earth.
I love them.
Pharmacist. I want to get Always on the farm so I can just be a fanboy, and yeah. So those would be my picks.
All right, I got one for you guys. It's going to be a TV show. One of my heroes is Anthony Bourdain. He was kind of a modern Renaissance man. He was a foodie. He was a fantastic cook. He was one of the best in the world. But also, he was kind of my, even though I've never met him, he was my mentor when it comes to like traveling and understanding other cultures and other people and stuff like that. He doesn't really have that much to do with what I'm about to tell you about, but his soul is all over it. It's this show called The Bear. It's on FX and Hulu. And oh my gosh, I've read just about everything that he ever wrote, and it captures what he talked about so brilliantly. Like the camaraderie in the back house, in a kitchen, and what a rush it is to create and get ready for people to come in and eat. It's hard to put into words what I want to say about this show, because he already put it into his own words, so I could never try to paint the same pictures. But just go watch this show, The Bear. I wish he had lived to see it, because he would have loved the hell out of it. Yes, Brooklyn?
I will say, if you are a fan of Shameless, watch it.
It's basically kind of sort of a sequel to Shameless. It's one of the same actors, kind of the same vibe. Yeah.
Lip Gallagher's in it.
But it's not really about like running a restaurant or cooking or whatever. It's about so many other things. And if I talked about it, it would kind of be spoiling. The show has such a good energy and vibe and soul to it. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch The Bear. It's on Hulu. You can find it. They just renewed it for a second season. I think the first season is just, 8 episodes? Something like that?
I don't know. I've only gotten to the first.
I'm towards the end of it now. But y'all, please, go watch The Bear. You'll love it.
It's great.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Listen to my podcast, Bonnadude.
Yes.
Follow me on Insta at Bonna_dude and at Twitter Bonnadude. Would love to hear from you. And I apologize to all my listeners for my lackadaisical upload schedule. I have literally just not had time to do anything. I will get my second half of my recap for Bonnaroo up eventually. It's just, I just really don't have time for recording these days, but it's coming. Don't worry.
You're doing great.
If you ever get indigested, you should have some of that laxativative.
I totally got.
I'm just picking at you. No, dude, we love you. I'm so happy that you have started this. We need more. I love it when there's another new project like this starting out of the Bonnaroo community. It shouldn't just be us. It shouldn't just be the What Podcast. It shouldn't just be Rooham. We need more of these because, like, the more perspectives we have, the better. And then, like today, we can all guest host for each other and have each other on and everything.
Oh,
no,
I agree. I mean, I could never get enough Bonnaroo talk, so please keep them coming. Anybody out there, it's really not as hard as you think. You just got to do it.
It ain't.
It's like that meme with Kylo Ren. More.
Exactly.
But also, Bonnadude has stickers, and they're great.
Oh, yes. I think we have one in the bus now.
I have a sticker on my totem.
When you were talking about stickers on the back of the bus, I almost asked if one of mine made it to there, but...
Well, we're about to go out there. I'll check and send you a picture.
Okay.
I think I remember where it is.
And we're pretty close. We'll get more stickers.
Yeah.
We'll get stickers to you. You get stickers to us.
I think I've got like 2 left. I actually, I had I can't remember, like maybe 10 or so left over, and I actually reached out to people on Instagram who I had talked to or just knew through the community who I didn't get a chance to connect with, and I actually mailed them out to them.
Oh, that's sweet.
Chloe, Russ, and a few other people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
he showed off his Bonnadude sticker the other day in a Snapchat.
You know what? I just had something pop in my head. You were talking about how there's a lot of people in Nashville, and we were just naming a couple of people in Nashville. Why don't, before we all get busy, before some people go back to college, before things get crazy again, why don't we just put together a little Bonnaroo meetup in Nashville?
That's literally why I created that Bonnaroo group, or that Snapchat group.
Well, I tell you what. Bonnadude, let's get up with some other people. Maybe we can all go hang out over at the park in front of the Parthenon or someplace. We should all have a hangout before everybody...
that would be a perfect spot, yes. That's awesome.
All right, I'm putting it out there now. Let's see if we can do that one weekend before me and Charlotte head out west and before people go back to college and stuff. We will get back with everybody next week about that.
Bring your dog.
I will absolutely be there.
Yeah, we know some good places to eat up around the area.
Bring your dog.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I will bring him with the Bonnaroo bandana around him for sure.
Yes, I'll bring my dog too. They can be best friends.
Oh my God, yes! Please bring cornbread. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
All right, guys. I think that covers it. We got a lot in. We went a little over this week, but you know what? I love it. Bonnadude, I'm so glad we could have you on. Where can people find your podcast and your stuff again?
Yeah, so I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. Just type in Bonnadude. Instagram's at Bonna_dude. Twitter's at Bonnadude. Hit me up.
Hell yeah.
Woo woo.
Brooklyn, where can people find you online? Where can they find you in Huntsville these days?
In Huntsville, you can find me at Straight to L on Sundays and Mondays because I'm a bartender now.
Hey.
I decided to take a second job because rent be high.
Inflation be crazy.
Inflation be crazy. So due to inflation, I have gotten myself a second job.
She's killing it too.
Today was pretty great. I had a whole biker gang come in and they left me a shit ton of money. It was like a whole ass biker gang, and I mean like at least 40 people.
And now you have Saturdays off too.
And just me taking care of them, and they're so nice. So shout out to that biker gang. I don't know y'all's names, but y'all are pretty cool.
Black Widows.
I don't know. They were pretty awesome. Obviously not from this area. They were traveling.
Just riding through.
Yeah.
See, summer road trips, just like he was doing.
Also shout out to that tin top of older dudes. You guys were awesome. Thanks for being patient with me.
Oh.
While I was dealing with the biker gang. They were really nice to me too. It's fun. Come if you're ever in Huntsville. Come. I highly recommend it. If you like beer, we're a brewery.
Very good tacos.
If you like food, we have wonderful food. Highly recommend the beer. The bacon wrapped pretzel bites with beer cheese. Oh, good.
What was the taco me and Charlotte just
The
ate?
taco, y'all had the kimchi tacos.
Very, very good.
The pulled pork kimchi tacos. They're kind of spicy. They're delicious.
And y'all's ribs.
The ribs. Now that is our most expensive thing on the menu, but they are
good.
fantastic. They are marinated in Mowgli teriyaki sauce. Super delicious.
Whatever it is,
and they
it was
just
great.
fall off the bone. Off the bone. It's super easy to eat. You don't need like a lot of napkins or anything.
Only thing I have to plug is if you are going to Burning Man or know anybody that is, get them in touch with me and Charlotte. We want to go party. And if you have any ideas about how we could bring a piece of Bonnaroo and some positivity to Burning Man, hit me up. Me and Charlotte are working on our little mini arch and some other ideas here in the next couple of weeks. I will greatly welcome any ideas on how we can bring some Roo to Black Rock City. Yeah.
You should have said you, because that would have rhymed.
Oh, yeah. And if you're on our routes, we'd love to stop by and see you. We're going to have some time going through, let's see, we're going through Oklahoma City, Albuquerque, Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver. So if you're in any of those places, let's have lunch or something. That is it for this week, I believe. Bonnadude,
yes.
Thank you so much for coming on with us, my man. We will see you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Well, we will see you in Nashville next month. It sounds like let's go have a beer and a taco. We know a good place to take you for a taco over there.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll get out with everybody. We'll put that together. If you're in the area, I think we're going to try to do that one Saturday in August. We'll everybody hang out, go have a drink, go get a taco, and just get into whatever we happen to get into, you know?
Yeah.
But for now...
There's I don't know if they're still doing it in that time, but I mean, there's Live on the Green, which that's a huge event, but there's even these little free, it's called like Nashville Musician Corner, I think. There's all kinds of free concerts in that area at the Parthenon, so who knows what could be going on when we go.
Sounds great.
Well, everybody, until then, get out on your road trips, get out on your vacations, get out in your neighborhood, get out there and radiate positivity.
Woo!
We'll see you next week.
Y'all.